What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We got a little short porch action for you. I believe this is short porch number 4. Either that, if it's not number 4, I've lied to you off the bat because that is what I've titled this. But as I believe it is to be true, this is short porch number 4. We get a fun one today. All right, fresh off of having so rare John on the show talking the playoff stuff. We're gonna keep the guests coming. We're gonna get special guest here to come on, talk us through some of the exciting things going on in So Rare. We're going to talk some playoffs. We're going to talk about the current game week, the upcoming game week. So Rare, just big picture stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. Before we bring him on, though, who do we got in the chat? I see Miguel Flores in there. I see Borland up in there. Matic Auto, love to see it. But let's bring on our guest. If you've tuned into Elite Fantasy Sports before, you've seen him, but making his So Rare channel debut, we got our guy Jump Shoot. What's going on, man? How we doing?
Hey, Mike. Good to see you. Great. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. Listen, you according to Twitter, I saw we were recently at Orioles game courtesy of the So Rare people.
Oh, yeah, courtesy of you as well. So, won tickets to the game on Sunday against the Dodgers. So, really cool. Got to see Shohei Ohtani in person. Kind of had a bit of bad luck because the Friday night game and the Saturday night game were like walk-offs. And
Yeah.
then Tuesday was another walk-off too. So, I like had a bunch in there. But I don't know. I love baseball with the day games. I know some people are like, oh, you should always play at night. There's more hype there in prime time. But I'm just kind of more early to bed, early to rise,
Yeah.
stay on the same schedule, not have to take a day vacation if I don't have to, kind of thing. And that's kind of
Yeah.
what I like about the MLB versus NBA. It seems like the games are on at like 11 o'clock at night, and it's just hard for the working folks. So,
Yeah, no, that's great. And I actually think that might have been was that from like the first show we did here? Like on like the first short porch? Is that
yeah, exactly. Yes, I think it was. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, there were a few people that were typing it in chat, and yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate those tickets. It was awesome. It was like had a couple options or provided, and the other were to the Yankees games. And I know Dodgers fans are a little bit more cordial, so that was nice. I was 3 rows back of the visiting dugout, so it was awesome getting to see everybody run out there. Kiki Hernandez is just like one of those players where you're like you don't realize on TV, you're like, dude, that guy's pretty built. Like, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
just something else. And then even yeah, Shohei with being 6'4", getting up in the box. And what
Yeah.
was really cool being on the visiting side dugout is whenever you had a lefty coming up, you just had a clear shot to them and got to see the pitch go right down in it. Could see a lot of the vertical movement as well. And yeah, I'd never
Very
been
cool.
that close to a Major League Baseball game before, and just was phenomenal. So highly recommend it. That was awesome.
Yeah, shout out So Rare. I know our guy Borland
Yes,
in the
thank you, so rare.
Yeah, our guy Borland in the chat has been the beneficiary of some ticket giveaways before, and he's shown some pictures from Twins games with incredible seats. I've been fortunate enough when John and I were shooting some stuff at Yankee Stadium for, I believe it was the Subway Series. We had incredible seats for that, so shouts to So Rare for making that happen. But
Yeah, I won
we
July Chase last year and got the Sox against the O's, but it was an evening game, a Saturday game, my girl's first game. But then there was a rain delay. She got to see a triple rainbow, so it was awesome. But we only got through like an inning and a half, and that was like 8:30. It's like, Daddy, I'm tired. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm
hey,
not just gonna be one of those guys that's like, go to sleep in this seat. Damn it,
no,
like. But yeah, they were phenomenal. Like where basically people are wiping off your seat, and I was like, oh wait, I'm supposed to have kind of like tip money for these people. So I was like,
I
oh, I haven't been here before, so
I know.
it was good. I was prepared this time.
The first time I remember, like, I think the seats we had where they were like, they came around and took your food and drink order. And I'm like, I'm not used to that. I'm not, I'm not used to being very far away. So yeah, hey, we'll do that again. We'll give out tickets again. Although we are at the end of the regular season, so it might be tougher for this season, but we'll be we'll be ready to go for Solar NBA. Let's talk a little bit. Let's look at this game week first, because we were in the last day of this game week. We had a bunch of teams with 4 games. For like after 2 straight game weeks of just getting my teeth kicked in, I actually think I'm gonna have a little bit of a sweat tonight, which I'll pull up here in a second.
Nice.
But can I pull up your screen? How are we looking this game week?
Yeah, man, Edwin Diaz is killing some of mine because it was like 4 game week. Hey, you're expecting a reliever to do something as
Yeah.
well. But that's where I really like the multi-entry because you have so many different bites at the apple here too, kind of thing. And my first rare champion and my first rare contender that I got This season. It was on the fourth game. Schwarber with the 4 home runs
Oh my gosh, that
and
killed me.
very cool. So that's just one of those things. And like, yeah, my rare all star where Gino's doing nothing. The Mariners are kind of going off, but you have one guy and then Jazz two kind of killing you. We're like, oh, if I just would have made a swap here or there.
Yeah.
But that's where it's like having fun, with a bunch of these shots. And then, I mean, some of these guys, it's like, yeah, with Shohei, it's like you're going to play him and Cal too. So it's like, but then having them, you feel kind of compelled to play them every week, whether they seem like they're going to be where they do it for you or not. So that's what I kind of like about MLB too, is just the variance that goes in between everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we saw that like Soto a couple of weeks ago had like 79. So had just some big old number or whatever. And then so you just kind of feel compelled to play him every single game week. Although he then kind of got bailed us out late in the game yesterday because it seemed like he was in the midst of a pretty dud 4 game week or 4 game week, and then hit a late home run last night that kind of saved his score a little bit. So what's our best one looking like here? Are that rare all-star number 2 over there? Is
Yeah, I
that
think that's looking like, well, I got the doctor Calvin Fouché, who's kind of like a dark horse RP with the Miami Marlins. So it's
yeah,
like, yeah, if I only had thrown Kittredge over there, and one away kind of thing. And then
right.
Trent has been awesome, actually stealing a lot of bases and hitting. But then, yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you get duds. Even Manzardo missing the second game of the series, kind of going off is nice. And then, yeah, it's pretty incredible to have Judge in a rare all-star lineup, typically more in the champions
Yeah.
lineup, but just the way that, 3 game weeks going. And yeah, unfortunately, still like I think the third best bat in baseball, but had a little bit of a second half slump here.
Yeah, slowed down a little bit. Here, I'll throw up mine that I got going on right
Yeah, let's take a
now.
look.
And it is this limited champion one here, and it's Manny Machado. I'm pretty upset with right now because we got the crochet, like, beautiful performance from him. He dropped 44. We got 2 saves out the gate from Munoz, and
Yeah,
maybe a
that's
third one
awesome.
tonight. Yeah. Tatis went deep. We talked about Soto and Judge, and then Mookie had himself a night last night with 2 singles, an RBI double, and then a grand slam. So that one I feel like has a little bit of room to run. I mean, the Padres have the Rockies, I think, the beginning of a 4 game set tonight.
That's
Uh,
right. Yep.
and so should be able to get a little something out of it.
Yeah, it's at San Diego, so you would hope as well with that. You're being at home. I guess it'd be nicer to be in the
Yeah, in
Rocky
Colorado.
Top and then hitting a little bit more. But and then yeah, Manny's hard because like I've seen like some of the fantasy guys, like he'll play through a lot of injuries too.
Right.
And it's nice because he's consistent, but then the ceiling isn't always there all the time. And yeah, been a little bit more variable. Him and Tatis too. I remember a couple years ago, it's like, oh, Tatis is the next like chosen one.
Yeah.
And again, he kind of checks the box with so rare where it's like kind of he has that power and he has that speed. So it's like, okay, you just have to do a couple of those things. And I feel like that's yeah, kind of what we've seen with some of these elite players too that just start to steal a little bit more. And with Soto kind of thing, like you wouldn't expect him to steal so much, but hey, you don't have to hit a home run if you grab a bag here or there. Really makes a big difference on the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see him 2 crochets, so threw him in the second lineup with an Angel stack, which was like, honestly, Trout and Neto having a good performance.
Yep.
I forgot I threw Goodman in there. Goodman, who hit a
There you go.
home
Shout
run.
out Taylor.
Yeah, shout out Taylor in the chat. Chapman, who had his first bad game is since like 2019 yesterday with the A's. And then Corbin Carroll, who was starting to like walk his way into having enough fantasy points, and then he got caught stealing yesterday, and that hurt a little bit. And then this last one down here has just been kind of a dumpster fire. But we had Logan Gilbert, who continues to project excellent every single game week, and then caps out at like 25. And then we've got, some Mariners a Rosarena who's been, I feel like a Rosarena's been stealing some more bags lately, which has been a lot of fun. But that Mariners team has been kind of a shit show.
Well, yeah, at home it's been hard. They've been doing better at home this year than last year, but the whole Gino Suarez going down to
Yeah.
Arizona a couple years ago, it's like, oh, his power's going to go up because he's in more of a hitter park, and then you kind of swing back that way. There was an issue with the batter's eye, they said, where it's kind of angled, so you were kind of getting a weird look at the ball, which they were
Yeah.
supposed to have corrected, maybe got a little bit better, but still seems like a pitcher's park, especially with like the marine layer. Essentially, the air saturation is higher, so
Right.
there's more particles for the ball to fly through, essentially, than like dry air or where it's hot, and there's very few particles apparently. So
Right. So I guess for like I don't know. This says we're projected here at 32nd. I think if we somehow
Nice.
get if we get the pods to do a little damage tonight, or Manny just to do anything, just get the double digits, and then another Seattle save. If we get one more Munoz save, I feel like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
But
3 saves in 1 game week is huge.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I shouldn't be begging here because we got 40, and anytime you get 40 from a relief pitcher, that feels pretty good. But
Yeah, that's
I'll
the
take
most kind of like landmine position, it feels like. Either it can
yeah.
go off or it can just totally destroy your lineup too.
Right,
And that's
right.
where kind of playing the SP in there, even with these longer game weeks, you have at least that floor. But like Taylor's mentioned in chat, you really don't have the ceiling of like Munoz now. Hey, you could get like a 60 burger from him or something.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, it's tricky. Let's so before we get into like this upcoming game week, I feel like we should start with the playoff stuff just because that conversation was fresh from last week where we had John come on, we talked a little bit about it. I guess let's do two things. Let's talk a little bit about like what your thoughts were as the playoff contest came out, and then both from like so rare perspective, but then also from like a strategy perspective, and then we can kind of get into the weeds of like how you're approaching the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, can you say Friedel Deedle D first?
Friedel Deedle, oh TG Friedel Deedle
Yeah.
D, yeah,
There
let's
we
start
go,
with Friedel
baby. Thank
Deedle,
you. And so
Friedel
there's one
Deedle,
other
and
one that I like that's like Bryce Turang, but you say it like Lurch says you rang, so it's Bryce Turang.
Price total rank, and then there's also what was the Diamondback pitcher that was the we still got him. He's
Brandon
pitching this week.
Fott.
Brandon,
Fott.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
pitching
Or I
this
like
week.
George Springadinga.
Spring is a good
He's
one.
he's gonna be, yeah, he's in the Blue Jays, so he's been surprisingly had a resurgent, pretty old
Did
guy,
you?
but he's gonna be in the playoffs. So that's something that's gonna be kind of cool to see. I appreciate John first and foremost coming on, and then
Yeah.
Damien as well, and the company for allowing that to happen because like they kind of admitted, hey, this was a less than well received rollout or announcement essentially with the playoffs, and you kind of alluded to it as well. Some people kind of like packed their bags and got ready for the playoffs, and it's like, oh wait, this is kind of the starting line, not where you thought it was, kind
Right.
of thing. So I think some
Right.
people got hurt with that. I do appreciate him coming on and like letting us know kind of more the entry trick ticket method. So essentially, the cards are kind of more entry tickets for in-season tournaments or the big cash prizes.
Hmm.
Classic start cards you can still energize to become an energy, but they can be played in other tournaments, kind of thing. Was what.
Right.
But typically not like the big, huge cash prizes kind of thing. So having that understanding, I think, is huge. I think like it's a real advantage to us too playing in the MLB that go to the NBA too, because I think there may be a similar format that follows that. I appreciate him being up front with the B word business. It's a business decision, and it's like honestly, if we're here, guys, like we should all want to see So Rare do well as well and like be viable long term. So I just think that's something where, yeah, we want them to see them grow, and it makes sense from that. But it is hard being like, hey, in the past, we were able to use these for all season and the postseason. The postseason was a bit more juiced for reason that John explained last week too. So that was kind of a little bit of again like, okay, so now we've got like like before they publicized, I think it was like $175,000 essentially for last postseason. This season, the number that was publicized was like 80,000, so it's roughly like a 55% cut.
Hmm.
And that's like from postseason to postseason, so it's not like regular season where, of course, like there's 12 teams playing in the postseason out of 30. So I agree with John with like the deck gets cut in half, so you're going to have some elimination of that. What I just really felt last year too, going into the postseason too, is like they really did narrow down very quickly for me. And what I've found too is with the new postseason, because of multi-entry, it really does shrink down a lot more, and you're really only going to need two limited in-season cards, is what I think it seems like to me. Because you'll have, if you play special edition cards, where you have one in that championship and then one in the daily, essentially, and that after
Right.
that. You really don't need use for those cards. So, like right now, you could play it in Champion, you could play it in Limited All Star, and I mean, in theory, you could play it in Contender. And that's kind of like some of the issues with the over minting as well for this season, is like the in-season cards have like the most utility. So by like over minting them and devaluing them, you kind of like devalue the whole chain kind of down below it. So that's kind of a little bit of what we saw this season too with things. So that was kind of like a little bit of hard thing to watch and see, but it's like, okay, you still want to see things continue onwards and people progress. And the dailies have been huge. I think that's something that I like to keep coming back to. I think it's fun because you can set the lineup, but then if it does well, hey, cool. If it doesn't, hey, I've got tomorrow kind of thing. And it's a reason to kind of keep being engaged as well. And the missions as well are pretty fun. It's something else, another utility to put with your card. So I don't think that's ever a bad thing to do as well.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you on a lot of that stuff. I did think John spoke to it pretty well, and my takeaway, and this has been for people that have been watching my stuff for years now. It's just like if you're upfront and open with your communication, it just makes things a lot easier. Even if people don't agree with the end result, they're at least like, well, we can understand the process and how we got here, right? And so I do think like if you knew about the postseason thing in June, it changes things because you're not, most likely you're not making wild postseason moves in the first week of June versus like people were legit doing that. I mean, myself included. Like I was somebody that spent like $200 getting a bunch of limited cards to get ready for the postseason. And I was like, oh man. But I do think you're right too. Like if we see similar things that they've done on the football side and on the NBA side, I mean on the MLB side, you can kind of like get ready for the NBA in that way. And yeah, I
Yeah, and
agree
it's
with you
hard
on.
sometimes too with the football emails too, because it's like, oh man, I wish this was MLB or something. It's like I know it's like football drives that we've got to have them focused on football too, but it's like, oh man, if we could get some of these like announcements or whatnot for MLB,
Yeah,
it'd be exciting as
it would
well.
be cool. Listen, our guy Dean, I was like, I don't know, is Dean just messing with me right now? That's what I thought it was happening, but no, Dean's out here being a real one. I think we got a Spencer Steer. Let me share a screen here.
Oh
Wow, look
wow.
at this. A limited in-season Spencer Steer. And like, listen, not to give away too much, but the Cincinnati Reds, I believe, are on their way to Sacramento this weekend. So that could be kind of fun. Dean, I don't want you to be offended by this, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give this away into the chat today, if that's cool with you, Dean. But I don't want to offend. So if you're like, no, Mike, I wanted you to have that, then that's one thing. But would love to be able to give it back to the community if you're cool with that. I'm going to
Yeah, it's very
accept.
nice of you, Dean. Thank you.
Yeah, Dean. Shout out Dean. I'm gonna accept this here, but I want to make sure I don't just give you my password. All right. So what I'll do, all right, I'm sending nothing, Dean. All right, making sure Dean's not trying to scam me. He's not. He's not. And then he
I
never be
steal all
never.
your ETH.
Yeah,
ETH.
don't take my ETH, bro. All right, let me pull up a StreamYard giveaway, and then this is what we'll do here. Let's do. Hold on. We'll do. All right. So, in order to qualify for Dean's giveaway, we got a Spencer Steer. Spencer Steer, who, again, I think is going to be somebody you'd be okay playing this game week. Let's do this. Let's like the stream. Let's subscribe to the channel. He put shout out Dean. Hashtag shout out Dean into the chat. We'll
Nice.
give one of these bad boys away. I'll leave this up here for a little bit. All right. So, we kind of talked about emotionally how we felt after
Yes.
the postseason announcement. How so what have you been kind of thinking as you get ready for the playoffs? Like, are you prioritizing it, or is this kind of like I'm just going to use my collection, I'll pick up enough to do it? Like, where's your brain at here?
Well, actually, I've calculated the EV. So sorry. So what's really cool about Sorare, though, I think we got to say off the top is like it's a dynamic market. So you can't say it's always best to do this or it's always best to do that. 30
Sure.
people go out to rush out and do something, then it really changes market dynamics kind of thing. So I guess that's where we have to watch. I haven't ruled it out for myself kind of thing, but it just seems like with the reduced amount of pool as well, and then the requiring of two special edition cards, it's going to make it like really difficult to compete, I think, on a regular basis without kind of spending a bit more money. I know some in
Hmm.
the community are like concerned about like people just going out and getting like full special edition cards because they'll have 7.5 percent more like XP for these tournaments off the bat kind of thing. But they can be kind of negated if you have a team bonus. And then also some of the cards like my Shohei that I won in the first quarter of the season, I think is at 7% XP right now too. So not that far away, I think, from them. So still kind of in the ballpark a little bit. But I kind of went through, and I don't know if you want to share screen. I've got my Google Calendar up, and what I did was I did a Google. calendar. And again, it's kind of like, oh, you're doing calendars, but it's like,
Oh,
it kind of comes down to that because we get out of such of a rhythm of a bi-weekly kind of cadence. And like, hey, either a team has 2 games, 3 games, or 4 games, and you've got to go towards that.
yeah.
So essentially what I did was I went to MLB.com, and they have this postseason schedule, and it's got the breakdown, and I essentially put it into this Google sheet. And so it's kind of shows you the game week and like kind of what teams are playing more or less. So game week 45 or 54 rather is very easy. It's just the wild card teams. It's only one lock, so you kind of only have one shot. In theory, you kind of want teams that are going to like your batters that are on 3 teams, but playoffs are hard because typically the scores can be a lot lower because you have more elite pitching in them too occasionally. So that can be difficult, but and it was kind of weird with the so rare thing. It's like they went through like a Monday through Sunday schedule too, which I don't know, maybe that's a big European thing, but can we go through Sunday through Saturday? I don't know. Maybe that's a me
Oh,
thing.
that's funny. I didn't think about that.
But yeah, when I was transposing this too, is like, oh, why don't we just do like a Sunday through Saturday? Because that's kind of like, I don't know. But anyway, so the divisional series are pretty easy, but there's only 2 games essentially with them. So that's kind of like the first wrinkle that I noticed. So on October 4th to October 5th, um, you got the divisional series. Actually, it's to the 6th rather. So the 4th to 6th, but there's only 2 games played essentially in the divisional series. So this is where like energizing a relief pitcher that's a starting pitcher, possibly, okay, maybe there's 2 saves that are gotten, and then you go like that. But like in a 2 game week, that starting pitcher and then starting pitcher and utility becomes a lot more juicy than possibly somebody that's only going to get what, like 8 at bats, 9 at bats kind of thing, and you're going up against a Crochet or
Right.
somebody that's kind of elite like that too. So makes it kind of hard. And then like with this, the second lock essentially on the 7th, you've got 3 through 5. So that's like, okay, which team is up 2-0? Do you want to fade them and go for the teams that are locked in a 1-1, thinking you're going to get to game 5 and get those extra games, essentially save opportunities, holds. Relief appearances kind of become a little bit more juiced in here too if you get saves or holds. There's 5 points automatically for relief appearance, so that kind of helps. And then a
Right.
save is 10 points, where a win is only 5 points. So that's where those relief pitchers with saves, even with holds, is a 5 point for a hold, can get really juicy. I just looked up too. We haven't had a no hitter yet this year, but there was a no hitter essentially a couple years ago. No, it was 2022 was a recent one, but it was more of a team game. I think it was the Phillies that did it as a team against
Yeah.
the Houston Astros. And so it's kind of like with that question too. It's like if it's early in the playoffs, would a manager really try and burn somebody up to try and get a no hitter versus like, hey, just lock it down. We want to go to the next series kind of thing as well. And then what I noticed too, it gets really weird here a little bit in the divisional in game week 54 essentially, or game week, pardon me, it's game week 57. It's the ALCS. It's 1 through 3 for the AL teams, but then the NL teams only have 2 games.
Okay.
And so that's where again it's just kind of like, I don't know. When I was looking at this and trying to be kind of more of a simpleton or just kind of like it's like, okay, if I buy like a Shohei Ohtani and an Aaron Judge, like from last year, and it's like, okay, I've got the 2 best players or whatever, they're going to make it to the World Series. Could I still kind of win these game weeks? And what kind of my deeper analysis into this is you kind of still have to be picking and matching. And I don't think you can just necessarily say, hey, the Dodgers are going to the World Series. I'm just going to buy special editions of them, lock them in each week, and play them because you'd clearly be in a disadvantage for game week 57 from a projection standpoint because you've only got 2 games kind of thing.
Right. Right.
And then it's funny because then it flips in game week 58 where the NLCS teams then have games 3 through 7, where the ALCS teams only have games 4 through 7. So you could have up somebody 3-0, and then it's like, okay, would you really want to play that team kind of thing in this where you could only get 1 game versus, that 2-0 or 1-1 type of situation as well.
Solar Edge in the chat says, look at his StatCast and then look at Perdomo.
Oh yeah. Perdomo has been going off basically.
Dude,
So
I mean the righty Diamondbacks in the right matchups just absolutely rake. Absolutely rake.
but they're not going to the postseason, so that's where it's
No.
like they're good for like 5 more game weeks, but after that, we're going to kind of go into this like long slumber type
Right.
situation.
Is there any of the like, because like you said, the Dodgers, honestly, really it's just the Dodgers. I'm not the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, I guess, but I don't know how many people are trusting the Blue Jays for a deep run. But like, are there any of the fringe teams that you're maybe a little bit more excited about than say I wouldn't say the rest of the field because I don't know what like we don't have
Well, it's
ownership
yeah, it's an
numbers.
interesting. So the Dodgers were supposed to be the Death Star this year, and really, it's
Right.
kind of like the playoffs go. Like the regular season of the MLB is just so much different from the playoffs because you get more rest, bullpen's more active. You really
Right.
just are looking at starting pitching, so it becomes a lot more of a different beast. I remember my Orioles having 100-win season. We were the baby birds in 2023, and Texas came in here and just freaking
Well,
swept us basically,
yeah, three
at
games,
home.
right?
And it's like, oh, there you go. You got congratulations. You got a bye in the first round and you didn't win a playoff game, basically.
Right.
So, and I think Texas that year too, they were on the road, and I don't believe they lost a road game. They were like 16-0, or they might have dropped one, but it was their run was just insane essentially. And they got hot right at the right time
Hmm.
and just absolutely started flying and took off. So that's where I think I saw on MLB Now as well. It's a pretty good show that I like watching that kind of analyzes stuff on the MLB network where Pete Alonso was on. He's like, oh, getting that first round bye is kind of a blessing and a curse because you have a chance to get rusty. You're
Yeah,
not in the
rest
game and
versus
you're just
rust.
not. Yeah, exactly. Just you're kind of those teams that are on fire basically just absolutely blazing through it. So and I think, yeah, with the Brewers and the Brewers kind of at the top, and it was the Phillies, I think, and then everybody else was kind of clustered more together. So it
Well,
is going to be one of these things. I think it's kind of cool because, like, you've been playing with Top Shot and like NFTs. I think it's nice to have that experience because you could have like another Heat Redemptions type moment where they're the eighth seed and
mhm.
Jimmy Butler's going for $2 and nobody really cares. Then all of a sudden it's like, holy crap, they're in the NBA Finals, and
Yeah.
then just didn't expect to have that type of utility. So could you see that this series? I mean, in this playoffs, I think we absolutely could.
Yeah, I will just real quick on the rest versus rust thing too. I think it's so much more interesting in baseball compared to. I mean, not that it's so different compared to basketball and football, but in baseball, I mean, these dudes are playing like if they have a light week, it means they've played 6 times instead of 7 times in a week, right? And so then to all of a sudden like shut down operation for a couple of days while you figure out who your next opponent is, that really does mess with their everyday system versus like having a week off in football. I feel like it's a little bit different.
But I think more so too because with batting, it's like very timing based on your eyes on the ball and just like having that routine and rhythm down. Absolutely, and that's why I think baseball too is kind of like the pinnacle in a ways for fantasy because you just have that perfect mano a mano matchup where it's like hitter versus pitcher. In the
Yep.
NBA, you really just don't have that one-on-one type of you're going against a defense type of
Yeah, and
thing.
I think one more thing too, like about and you touched on it a little bit, but it's now creeping into October. You're kind of seeing it around the league already with some of like the weather shifts, and like you're gonna see run totals come down a little bit. And I do think
Oh, it's going
like
to get colder. You're absolutely right. The ball flies a lot less when it's colder
yeah.
or windier too.
And so when you think about like the, and I don't know, I have not played through a full Sorare MLB postseason yet. I've just kind of this is gonna be my first one, but that flex position, on a typical game week, I'm like, no, we're putting in a hitter in there. They're going to have more
Yep.
opportunities to accrue points. But it's like, yeah, it's more opportunities to get points. But you know who's like not pit? Well, yeah, I was going to say Walker Bueller, but he's not on the Red Sox. But like, who's not starting a game for the Red Sox is like Dustin May. Like he's not going
Yep.
to start a postseason game. So you're getting like your best shot against like a Red Sox starting pitcher is going to be Bayo. Like you're getting top three. That's it. Sometimes a fourth starter, but usually top three. And so I
Yeah, they
do
might
think,
go long relief or something like that.
right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. And so I wonder if people, and maybe you have the experience from playing it in previous years, but if like the flex spot actually should be played as the pitcher more often than not, and yet, and yet still it's a hitter because that's just what people are used to doing. Like I don't know how have you approached that in the postseason
So
in the
what's
past.
cool about this too is like with the playoffs that I noticed. So like these first 2 weeks, okay, you got a lock here, you got a lock here, very similar, right? You got a Wednesday lock and a Saturday lock. So that's the first week of the playoffs. The second week of the playoffs, you've got a lock on Tuesday and another lock. I believe it's on. Let's see here. What is it? Game 5. I think it's yeah. So there's a lock on Tuesday. I think that locks again on Sunday, essentially. But then we get one again on the 16th. But after the 16th, essentially, they become like week-long matches kind of
Hmm.
thing. Or well, really, it's more so for the World Series is just such a different beast, essentially. So
Right.
that's where, yeah, when you have these four games for the World Series last year, I had my starting pitcher Michael Kopech, who was for the
Mhm.
Dodgers essentially as a relief pitcher, and I threw him in the starting position, starting pitcher position, because I think he was kind of like I didn't have a lot of other great starting pitchers, and then as a relief pitcher, he really did helped me out a lot and got a decent amount of points. And then, yeah, Freddie Freeman, that was the other big takeaway from the World Series last year is like it's a week long lock. And so you really don't have any shot to say, hey, this guy went down in the first, game because he got hit by pitch or some type of injury. Or, yeah, somebody can just take off like a Freddie Freeman last year who was injured.
Yeah.
And you really don't have any recourse to kind of change it once it's locked. I think with the daily games, that's what'll be fun, where we'll still be able to engage with that. But yeah, that's where these become like much different of beasts. And then even with wild card, where you go from 3 to 5,
Hmm.
and then you go to 7 and then 7 as well. It's just kind of like a little bit different of a cadence each time. And then how many games are teams playing? And yeah, I think it's interesting with that. Where shorter game weeks, I think, yeah, lean more on starting pitchers, but longer game weeks, the relief pitchers and utilities and even starting pitcher spots can get a lot more intriguing.
Yeah, I think so. I just think they're like people are so used to just jamming in a hitter
Let's
in that
see
flex
if I can
spot.
do
Like,
this.
also just want to shout out here saying in the chat saying, yeah, last year I won the super rare chase with Kopech as the starting pitcher and Luke Weaver as a starting pitcher as well.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Let's
that
see.
is
So
sick.
this might have been, not sure if this was actually, oh, no lineups entered. Trying to get my
Wow.
last World Series, but we'll see if I don't know. Might be a little bit too far back for the archives. That's the one thing I wish we could get to is like a trophy room where it showed
Yes.
off all your wins and it was just kind of easy to go and just go and see. I've kind of created a little bit of a Twitter thing where I'll just postmark and bookmark my top ones as well. So but yeah, I think let's see other quick thoughts with postseason. Oh, this isn't the most fun, but yeah, some of the fun stuff. These were some of the pictures essentially from the game, so it's awesome, really close. You can see I got that really great shot right down the line, which was a lot of fun. And it was my buddy's first time at the game. I thought about bringing the kids, but I was like, I've got two daughters, and so the bathrooms become a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
If the buddies weren't available, they definitely would have came with me. That was Shohei. He was about to smack the ump in the head. No, he didn't. But he actually, second pitch, first swing, bam, out of the park. And it was like, holy cow, like pretty amazing.
Yeah,
I remember
that's
people talking last year about like the sound, the crack of his bat being different. It was pretty remarkable, but I didn't notice like specifically it differently. And then I'm like, well, does this have to do with him pitching again too? Because that's like another thing essentially that can kind of take your mind off it a little bit. Yeah, getting back in the box a little bit. I tried to get off my phone so I could enjoy it. It was really cool. Kershaw was pitching. I was hoping Shohei would be, but he pitched on Friday night. But it was
yeah.
really cool to see a legend like Kershaw. He did a really good job against us. And then, yeah, the man, the myth, the legend, I guess Freddie Freeman too, walking back. He didn't have a great day, but and Mookie did pretty good. It was pretty nice just to see them celebrate as well. Was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Mookie
Um,
waking up a little bit here. Also Borland in the chat's got a question for you saying
all right, let's go.
should 300 points guarantee a podium?
So that's where I guess the whole streaks kind of thing, or if you have legends and we had those competitions for that. I mean, we're playing against each other. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it should. Yeah, I don't think it necessarily guarantees you a podium when you're going in a dynamic thing, unless you have a tiered. Hey, you're going to pay you out at this threshold or
Right.
that
The
threshold kind of
threshold thing
thing.
that they seem to have gotten rid of based on conversations. All right, let's so is this for you're poking around here we see a little Sorare
So this
MLB
is yes.
tracker.
So this is a Sorare Edge. This is one of I subscribed at the start of this MLB season. Definitely appreciate what Pascal, aka Nate, does for everybody, and does these projections. Essentially, it's Patreon.com and it's So Rare Edge all together. So the word so rare, the word edge, and smash them together basically. If you want to reach out to me too, if you see me in the discords, I'd be happy to talk to you about it too. But yeah, I've been a big fan of what he does. Helps simplify some of the stuff for me. So this is kind of like looking at next week. I guess with the playoffs too, just still spitballing. It's like the two special edition cards for rare felt like a little bit more than kind of what I would like it to be. But I mean, again, it's business, so it's kind of like you got to stick behind it too. I really
Right.
like MLB too because we've got the rare All Star tournament
Hmm.
versus, and it's like the payoffs were a little bit less than they kind of were last year, but it's like, hey, you still have that. You can still build and win. Shout out Borland, he got a rare card with it. The other one, and it's like, hey, he's got a rare gallery, but it's like a building rare gallery as opposed to this massive type whale account too. So I think that rare All Star really helps. Build it up. And I guess getting ready for playoffs too. If you've got any XP that you want to keep for some of these special edition cards, if you're going to buy them, it's like, yeah, I think you can get the 2% additional within like 48 hours. So that might be one of the advantages of trying to get in quote unquote early. I would say if you're crafting, I would wait for all 12 teams to lock because essentially you're
Yeah.
spinning the wheel
That's what I was
each time
gonna.
when you're crafting. So, and I think it's pretty. You're gonna be like, okay, if you craft a special edition playoff card, that's awesome. You beat the odds, and then you'd have to also beat the odds to get somebody that's like above a tier two. It's like
Right.
75% or less to get a tier three, which typically means an RP. But again, with some of these playoff formats, those could be kind of decent. And hey, if that's my extra card, and now I can play on the tournament and have some fun with it. I mean, I view this more as an entertainment venue too than an investment. I changed my philosophy like a couple years ago and just said, hey, this is going to be for fun. Like if I get stuff back, it's cool. Like that's fun, but it's really the thrill of winning and competing and being in the community too. It's like I really appreciate Team Hold. What
Hey.
So Rare Edge has done, Digital Dugout. I know So Rare FP with Clamp as well. They have projections as well, and they've got a community going as well. He's had some streams on that have been helpful too. So it's like to focus on the positive, and I think as a community too, it's like, hey, we all help each other out, make each other smarter. We're
Yeah,
competing against
absolutely.
each other, but it's yeah, I feel like we've got a really good community. It's more fun together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do think there's like a balance between it where I think if you feel like you're just getting your smoked, whether as a player or just like the value of stuff, whatever happens right away. Like I
Yeah.
get it. I totally get that being like there's only so much I can do it. But you're right. It is way more fun when the community's out there uh doing stuff together. I mean, I come from the NBA streets, and that's some of the most fun, especially early in a basketball season. Those live before locks and just kind of all the stuff that we do over there is a lot of fun. So and anybody that's creating anything third party for stuff like this is just good. So I'm glad there should be like I always shout out top tier projections when we do NBA stuff. We need more of it. I need more people building out NBA stuff. More people building out MLB stuff. It's just good. It's good for the economy.
Yeah, you
I
should talk to Nate and Pascal someday. He's talked about, well, he whispered to me, I don't know if I should reveal this, about possibly doing like a daily So Rare NBA pod in the mornings, possibly. But I'm sure if you wanted to talk to him and get him on stream one time, he's a great guy, very knowledgeable.
cool. Yeah.
Just have to work out timing or whatnot, but recommend him. Another, so somebody for MLB too, like Borland's a great one. If Taylor's got time, but DJ Local, DJ Local.
Actually,
So
I don't
shout out
even.
Jeb, but
I
he is
feel.
he's a real one too, man. He's in these, he's grinding these, and then I don't know if Judgy ever comes back, but you're in the judge, you're
The
in the
judge.
courthouse, baby.
We need the courthouse. Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to do these videos on the So Rare channel. We're gonna do it. Followed by
DJ Local. Another one.
There we go. That video's got to be like 5 years old at this point.
Dustin, man, and G Don as well.
It's
Man, those guys are the
incredible.
best. Yeah, I
All right.
freaking
Hey,
love
I wanted
Jim.
to go back to something you were saying though with the essence because
Yeah.
I posed this question in the Discord, and I just think this is like a fascinating strategy thing here right now. And so I would love for you to just like talk a little bit more about it because that my first thought was like, I feel like everybody. I think it's silly to be using your essence right now, pre-playoff lock. I think like you're just I mean, you're really scratching lottery tickets at that point. I mean, it's already
Well,
a lottery
yeah,
scratch,
yeah.
but like, but I almost think the bigger conversation right now is like, do you do it in the playoffs, or do you just straight up wait till next season with your
And
essence?
I think I think so. What's great is everybody has a different account. Everybody
Hmm.
has different, viewpoints and things that they've built as well. So it's just I don't know that there's no, a one size fits all answer, and that's where you can kind of look in the mirror and say, okay, what's best for me and what's best for
Right.
my account. And I think a lot of people like instant return, and it's like, hey, if you want to have that fun and do that. But I think ultimately, yeah, spinning it right now, like I would do it if I get over 6 or if I have like a card coming back and more. I have been around 5.5 before and maxed out at 7. So it's like, oh no, I lost some essence. But it's like,
Yeah,
again, they were giving out like I think 4,000 essence for $5 not too long ago. So not gonna sweat too hard on that. But yeah, I think spinning now, I'd only do it if you absolutely have to do it. I think with the playoffs, like John mentioned, they're giving out some essence as well and a bit of essence during that. It seems like some of the contender payouts are less than what the regular season was. And again, understanding it's a new tournament, we're running a business. I'm not going to like
sure.
hammer them for it kind of thing, but it's just kind of like that's the dynamics of the gameplay in the market. And so, yeah, I just don't like. I think it's a little too tempting for me. Like I'm not going to be crafting everything going into the playoffs or burning this going into the playoffs. Like my rare, I've got 5 right now, and so yeah, I would like to be as close to 7 essentially, or maybe right at 7 if I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, I'll lose 200 essence, but I'll be at 7, so I get rolls right at the start for next season, and then. Again, things can change, so it's like can't always take this to the bank. But based on what we know now, those cards that I get from this craft will be tickets or whatever for in-season tournaments. And then also it's kind of like I guess I'm realizing too is like, okay, the regular season we get like 50, I think 3 weeks out of it. The postseason's roughly 6 weeks kind of thing too.
right.
So hey, if you want to get a shot and a ticket at a game that you can play, do you want 56 times to play or do you want 6 times to play kind of thing? And then what's really rough with the playoffs is teams are going to be getting knocked out too. So Machine Dean brought this up too, where
Yeah,
it's
like
like
immediately.
in the wild card, yeah, you basically are going to get maybe 2 games and then bam, you're out kind of thing. And then you've got 4 teams move on. But then of those 4 teams, like, or of those eight
Yeah,
teams, 4 of them are going to get immediately ousted too. So you really just go through this rapid attrition very quickly. So this asset that you bought as a ticket, hoping for 6 game weeks, may only get you one
yeah.
essentially, and then it's kind
Well,
of done. And then has the market really correctly priced that in, or people just like, oh, I love these cards? I think it was kind of rough too because we kind of got the stick, I guess, with the requirement of the SE cards, but we didn't see like, hey, here's the new design. This is what they look like. This
right.
is all the other fancy glitter, like I don't know, give me a movie star entrance kind of like announcement kind of thing that's supposed to hype you up and really be like, oh yeah, inject this into my veins kind of thing. So
Yeah,
it's hard to get hyped for them when there's still kind of like this mysterious unknown, but you know that you have to buy them kind of thing.
right. Well, it's a game piece for like the new game that they're unveiling. Before I get into this here, we'll just do this quickly. None of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do, something like that, right? Just a young, fresh Mike Zakarian there. Real quick on this though, like so,
Babyface.
babyface. That was before he had seen some stuff. Okay, so like, again, I'm not telling people how to do this, but this feels like if you're like concerned about value, right? And you hang on to your essence and you can almost manufacture this of like, this is immediately me getting a return at the start of next season. And again, there's assumptions that are made because now you're like, well, what if all of a sudden they're like, well, essence now it's not 1,000 a craft, it's like 10,000 a craft. I don't think they would do something like that, but if you like ultimately ripping the first week of the new season is going to be what, worth 10x what it would be worth right now, I would guess.
Well, it's hard because we don't know the reward structure too. So that's like bird in the hand versus something in the
Yeah.
bush. But again, based on what we know, I think you're right. It's like, again, the tournament in the regular season, you've got 162 games. In the playoffs, you're much more limited than that too. So, I mean, from that perspective, it does make a lot of sense essentially to hold on to them. But
Yeah,
again,
and
everybody has to make their own decision for themselves. But yeah, critically think about it and make the decision that's best for you. And I think too, it's like some of these early ones too, like some of the players in the early season, the tiers are still like, are the tiers ever
funky.
solid? I won't go into that, but like
Yeah.
some of the guys, like I think I got a Teoscar Hernandez. It was 2024, kind of the first half. He was slumping. He was with the Mariners, and then he really like it's been a great classic card that I held on to. So it's one of those. I'm a little bit more of a hoarder. I like to hang on to them and collect and get some collection bonuses, but that's like and that's where like the 5%, I guess you have to realize too, going into the postseason, you're going into this like really limited, you're narrowing down to like one lineup now. So you really almost have to go with like your top projected lineup, very vanilla, as well, versus, hey, maybe I should stack this team or that team, or that's where you can kind of go a little zag versus zig. And try and take more of a dark horse. But it seems like I really got in the habit with having the multi where it's like, okay, have your priority. Those are all the top projection, but then have kind of like more fun lineups.
Yeah.
But you can still play both kind of thing where now you really have to pick your lane and stick to it. Another zag mood would be kind of more go towards dailies as well. DJF from First Mint brought that up as well as like, hey, maybe instead of going full out for SE cards and everything, go with missions, play the other stuff. But you don't, and I guess that's where I appreciate So Rare too. It's like you don't have to buy the special edition cards to play the postseason. That's the biggest tournament. That's the chase. That's where the most money is. So like, of course, that's where they're going to put the paywall behind it. But there's still Challenger where you can build energy and essence as well. I guess it's worth noting that there's no cap on energy currently. So while they could increase, like right now it's 25 energy to energize a card, so it becomes like an in-season card essentially. In theory, they could increase that next season, but it kind of would see like a little bit like a goalpost. Again, I think it's not necessarily John or Damien when that type of stuff happens,
Right.
as well. But it just sometimes that's happened with So Rare and the Poor where you feel like that's happened. But I think with them saying, hey, this is going to go over to next season, it seems like hopefully they make 1-for-1. So yeah, like you said with the essence, if it goes from 1 to 10,000, hey, I'm okay with that. But if I had 5,000 in the bank, please make that 50,000. So it's kind of like 1-to-1
Well,
as well,
I think,
because they did say in the blog like, hey, get an advantage towards building next year.
yeah, I mean, the first test we'll know once the NBA season stuff is announced, right? Because there are plenty of people who had held on to some essence from last season, so we'll know. But I do think, and again, not that anybody should be listening to what I do. I think my highest finish is like 17th. So, but
I think Taylor made a good point in chat too. It's like one early T1 really can make a big difference as well going on, and that's where. Yeah, it's like, hey, you get somebody that's really like that and a hot bat or really good starting pitchers are kind of hard because you're not typically playing them each game week.
Well, and that's what I'm
But
saying. Like I mean, if you need to craft 4 cards for this postseason and you want to play it, I totally get it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm not even saying you shouldn't do it right now. I'm just thinking for me personally, as a collector who would like to not deposit, right? That at the start of the season, if you're telling, because even the Teoscar Hernandez, right? Like the Teoscar Hernandez that you craft on April is going to be worth more than the one you craft right now. And so like, and it's just got a longer shelf life of what we can do, of like how long you can play. So I just think for me personally, whether it's a tier 1 or a tier 3, like whatever, the value of it is still going to be higher early on. Now, I'm sure, obviously, we're not the only ones thinking that. So now you have more people who are going to have essence, more people are going to craft then. And so that price might be a little bit lower, but I just think financially, again, there's a little bit more appealing anyways. But the other thing is, man, we're all a bunch of sickos that like to craft. So it's hard to hold the essence,
Well, and yeah, shout out to So Rare for introducing crafting. I give them a lot of credit for not auto opening our boxes the last off season too. That would have kind of been a really big but I kind of got worried because in the NBA it started, so I kind of just started doing it anyways, which was a little bit of a mistake in hindsight. But it's like, hey, that's okay. It's a game. Let's have fun. But yeah, it's like, hey, you can win it at crafting now too, which is kind of fun. And like that's where you could like win at the game. I feel like you can win in the market. Hey, I got this really great star player. I got him with market credits, and now I got him a lot farther, like less than what I thought I would, kind of last year type of thing too. So it's kind of nice to win in a couple different ways, I feel like, in this area. And I guess my other thing with the playoffs too, was So Rare, it's like I wouldn't necessarily personally need to see like a ton of prizes either, like, or even it could be like less amount of essence or less amount of energy, because I know, hey, we can only carry so much over like the next year. It kind of hurts the bottom line for next year. But just even tournaments where you kind of get bragging rights as well, like, hey, you can use these, we can play them, and it doesn't necessarily like the big payouts are good and they draw people in, but just having bragging rights for the select groups. I thought the creators tournament was a lot of fun this year too. I mean, that was something really well done. I'd like to see kind of more of that. It'd be kind of nice if we had more like little groups of, hey, here's the team hold group, and let's all kind of compete against each other.
That is some. I've been fortunate enough to be in meetings for like just feedback stuff, mostly for basketball, not really for baseball. But my biggest thing is there should be more opportunities to do stuff like that. I think when Sorare MLB was first introduced, we had like private tournaments, like private leagues or whatever. And that doesn't necessarily come with more prizes or anything like that, but there is like a fun element to be able to creating your own thing. And like the Creators Cup was fun. I think people enjoyed. I mean, I don't know how much they were following day to day, but like the tweet would go out with what the score was, and people were like, okay, cool. And like, we get to give away some stuff. People get to go to some games. So I do think like
it'd be nice if there's like, some type of live tracker, I think, built in the UI. I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, having the ability to create like specific community focused things, and it does, even if it's not available the entire season, like there's just certain windows of it. And again, I'm sure I'm creating a lot of back end work for stuff that I don't even understand, but
they like to move fast and break things, apparently. So
that's right.
Like, all right, and it's like they did bring a bunch to the table this year, so you got to give John that credit. I mean, again, there were missteps as well, but it's just one of those things where it does feel like they are doing a lot for that office size as well. So and John, I felt like was genuine on here, him like owning, like I should have communicated better. I just was like, I don't know, feels like a very genuine guy that really loves the product, and I got that from Damien as well. And everybody can make their own opinions. That's why, again, I appreciate them coming on and just being open and honest about it.
I mean, I think, and I can't speak for them, but I think when they do stuff like that and like open communication and then like own stuff too, it makes it, I think it takes some of the hostility out of important constructive criticism, and I think like they should be able to hear some of the stuff that's not working or some of the ideas that we think would work a little bit better, but they also shouldn't need to feel like that's being delivered at knife point, and so but I think that's like a good give and take, and hopefully, I mean, again, you're never going to cure the Discord is a disease, and I don't mean just a So Rare Discord, I mean Discord in general.
Social media people, and then just I can vent. I've just had a bad day, I can't yell at my boss, so I'm going to kind of yell at you kind of thing.
Keyboards. Any other and if the chat have any other questions about the playoff stuff, fired in there, like any other playoff things you wanted to get out there before we maybe take a look at this upcoming game week?
Let's see. Do I have anything else I want to mention? Well, I could share. I guess, I don't know. Again, I don't want to like be too critical of everything, but I kind of just did a little breakdown of the playoffs and the amount that we can play versus what we can't play. So I shared this earlier where in the regular season, if you had Rare Unlimited, you had a shot on bi-weekly tournaments was 16. And now with the playoffs, if you buy the SE card, so like 2 of them, special edition, you're at 4 essentially. So a reduction of roughly 75%. So that's where, again, it's like not yelling at So Rare, not trying to be too critical, but it's just like, hey, looking at these numbers and just the reduction and the amount of cards we're not going to need, because it's like, do you really need 2 Shoheis now kind of thing. So, but again, I get it. They've got to, it's a business decision. They've got to do that too. But yeah, if anybody in the chat, I do.
Yeah, we can go back to it too. We can go back to it if they start coming in. But maybe we take a look at the weekend. I enjoy, one of the nice things about doing the show on Thursday and looking at the weekend. I really like when it's just everybody's got 3 games.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more consistent, and that's kind of like even the SP and the RP role too. Slot can. Okay, I mean, I can't believe Kate Smith, man, 3 save appearances last weekend essentially, and it's like he had 4 earlier, 5, and it was just like only got 1 or got a -3 for me. So it's like, it's funny how you can get scorned like that and then just want to get totally gone. So this is So Rare Edge. This is the looking ahead sheet. So what he'll do is kind of look at projecting pitchers and parks and put everything kind of together, so you could kind of look and see, hey, who's going to be a good value here? Who could I possibly plug in as well? These are projections. So again, this isn't like written in stone. This is absolutely going to be happening. But again, kind of good directional waypoints. And that's where it's kind of like, I think I was playing blackjack, and it's like you kind of almost want to have one style and stick to it sometimes, as opposed to, well, sometimes I'll go with the projections, but sometimes I go with gut, or like people find a little bit of a mix. But it's like, it's kind of like it's like jumping in the stock market or crypto or whatever. It's like sometimes when you pick your jump, it's like, and then you kind of do it. It's like, have a strategy and kind of stick to it a little bit. So I've been going more with the sheets this season. I feel like that's been helping me out. This is his looking ahead sheet that he has. He also has a mission control So for missions today, essentially, I think you needed to get a couple doubles, and then also you needed a stolen base. Like the common, I think, was stolen base, and then or one was essentially limited, and the other one was a common one. So essentially, based on his numbers and what he ran, these were kind of the more likely players to get them. So instead of having to do like a lot of brain power and thinking kind of thing, hey, I can look at these sheets, I can throw them in. It's $5 a month. He also has NBA sheets, so if you do the $5, you get access basically to both these kind of master sheets that show everybody as well. One of the things, oh, I forgot to mention at the top, if you're still here, well, if you're watching on replay, you can click the gear down at the bottom and click up to um, playback speed, and you can go to like 1.5, and essentially everything will
Great.
go at 50% faster. And typically you can understand everybody and you get it 50% faster, which is kind of nice. And then what I like with these big sheets too, and I think you've done it where, let's see, looking ahead, if I wanted to look at like our man, I can type Control F in here essentially and go like steer and see where our man Spencer Steer is projecting for 23 points down there and 69. Nice.
We
So
like that. We like that.
so center, middle, outfielder, and so that's what's really cool too. I like those player cards, positional cards, where you can basically play them anywhere, kind of thing. If
Yeah.
there's ever a boost, essentially on like middle infielder, hey, now I can throw them at the center infielder shot, get that boost, and then try and get another, couple guys that are multi field eligible. That is one of the advantages of buying at this time of the season. I feel like we've had a catcher that should have gotten DH or a couple of them where it's like, come on, guys, like we really could use this. So, but
Yeah. So
unfortunately, haven't got it yet.
That's what Borland was throwing in the chat too, saying they didn't really add positions this year too often.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit harder. Some guys kind of got stuck a little bit more as well with it. So, I guess I could build on mine. I think what I like to do
Yeah.
when I build too is I really like to build the day of lock essentially because
Yeah.
that way you've
Yeah.
got the most amount of information. Starting pitchers is a huge deal in Major League Baseball. So if they're going against a righty, lefty, like we've seen, if they're dominant or not as well makes a really big deal
Yeah. Do you
as
want me
well.
to? You want me to pull up the what I've just been doing when I've been doing the stream is just pull up the hitter like the pitching matchups and go
Yeah,
from there, and we could just go
yeah,
through the weekend.
yep.
And then actually, you know what? Before I share that screen, why don't
Well,
I?
if anybody has any specific questions too about players, I can bounce them off of Pascal's sheets as well.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like, and I've got the API. So he does, if you pay $10 a month, you get a custom sheet essentially. Oh yeah, shout out Dean. Shout
Yeah,
out
I was gonna
Dean.
say let me
Everybody in the
throw that.
shout.
I'll throw that back up there. Just a reminder that Spencer Steer we were just talking about. We're gonna be giving away a limited in season Spencer Steer. So like the
Nice.
stream, subscribe to the So Rare channel, put hashtag shout out Dean because our guy Dean gave that to us. But yeah, sorry, I can go back to what you were just
No,
sharing.
you're good.
Okay, let's pull up the fan graphs.
Well, all right, I can show if you want me to show the custom ones. It's kind of neat with this
Okay, yeah,
with these sheets. You
let's
got
do
a
it.
minute. So,
I
all
got
right.
yours back up.
So this is the hitters essentially. So what you can do is it updates and it pulls from your gallery and shows all the cards that you have. So on the left here, you can see I've got some super rares, but they're all classic. I don't have any in season. Then I've got my rares in season, then my rares classic, and then it goes down to my limiteds and my limited in seasons and limited classics and like a ridiculous amount of cards kind of thing. I may have a problem, but I love this game and I love the cards. So I don't know, call me a sicko, I guess, kind of thing.
So this
And
is your gallery right here.
this is my gallery, yes, by itself essentially. And what's really cool is you can go down here and see if they're sealed or not too. What's sealed? So I've had a couple times where I've had people that have been projecting and I haven't realized they've sealed. Sometimes it's nice to keep them sealed. I think my first limited champion that I won, I unsealed somebody, so I went from like a 5% boost to a 3% boost, so I got one extra lineup. I think it was my second lineup that won, so ultimately it wasn't the card I unsealed. So but yeah, this essentially what's nice is he does total daily derby projections, total daily swing. So sometimes they'll change the points for it, and then the total game week as well. This is still for the total derby will be for today, but the total game week will still, I believe, be for last week, and that's where the looking ahead essentially helps a lot
Gotcha.
with that. But what's cool too is there is an optimizer here. Let's see, StreamYard, get out of here. Optimized team. So I did like run an optimized team before, and it said I could say, hey, how many classic cards do I, or how many energized cards do I want to do? And it said, hey, based off on the projections, this would be the ideal lineup to run kind of thing. And so it takes a little bit of some of the guesswork out of it, and it kind of gives you again more a little bit directional. And what I like too is even with some of these pictures, you can kind of see if they're close together. So one of the big things too, and this, some people might know this in the chat, but wow, look at these daily, because I think strikeouts are so crazy
Yeah.
right now. You get like bonus points. So, and that's where I almost wonder. It's like, or I almost feel like when you get these crazy pitching scores, do I put in like a star player over somebody that's projecting well just to kind of boost their XP up a little bit more? And it's like, okay, the chances of me winning are a little bit less as well. But when building for biweekly lineups, when your pitcher's starting on the third or fourth day, essentially, I kind of try and knock them back a little bit because it's a less less certain that they're essentially going to make that start.
especially on those 4 game weeks. Those are,
Yeah.
I feel like they more often don't pitch than do pitch. So I try to use that as a tiebreaker too, and then I'm like and then justify it immediately, being like, oh well, I need a pitcher for daily anyways, and maybe that'll make me unique by having DeGrom pitching in my daily derby instead of my my main one.
Yeah, absolutely. And then even put them down to a farther priority too, kind of thing. Sometimes can be like, all right, you're not going to be number 1, but you'll need to be number 2, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then just the way some of these like relief pitchers project as well is kind of crazy.
That is nuts,
so just in the starting pitcher spot too. So
yeah. All right. Why don't we look at let's just go matchup to matchup and just kind of quickly go through it. Sound good?
Yeah.
Do you mind blowing that up just a little?
If you could zoom in just a little bit. Yep. I'll do control and
yeah, that's great right there.
There we go. 125%.
So I don't know if we can go through everyone if you want, or do you want to just pick like a handful that that you've started eyeing? Maybe we can go over some obvious spots and then maybe some not so obvious ones. And if you haven't looked at it yet, we can also just go through all of them. I don't care.
No, it's all I've haven't. This is where again I go back to kind of the Pascal, the Sorare edge kind of thing, and go back to Judge, Soto. I mean, Soto's been so hot. What's really cool is he has this who's hot section as well. And so over the last 7 days here, you can see per plate appearance, Josh Bell has been scoring 5.43 Sorare points, which is freaking insane, dude. I thought that guy was washed up, but apparently not. For whom the bell tolls, I guess.
I mean, I feel like all national numbers aren't right now, though. Just based on that series in Miami, right? I mean, that was just how many times did they put up double-digit numbers? Was that? I feel like it was the first 2 games of the series. By like the 5th inning, they had put up 10.
Right. It was insane too. And then I guess your name has to be Josh to be at the top too, because Josh Naylor as well is just streaky, incredibly hot too, kind of
Jake
thing too.
Bauers sighting.
So and I guess he doesn't have a position. That might be a little bit of an error. We might have to contact Mr. Edge about that, but we'll see. Your Manzardo, but he didn't start the other day. But again, still doing great. Yeah, your man Colson Montgomery. Where's our card?
Oh, God, seriously, man. Well, how many consecutive home runs does he need to hit?
Well, what's going to kind of stink too about it is I think that now his next season card won't be a rookie card. So it's like, if you kind of like that kind of stuff, it's like, oh, here you go. Here's a card, but it's not a rookie. And it's like, but it's his first Sorare card. So that's kind of special. But now.
Was he up all season or did he get called up halfway through?
That's a good question here. Sometimes I do this. There's our baseball reference. Oh, wait, I got to use the right typewriter. We can check real quick.
Maybe he'll still be considered a rookie next year, but I can't remember.
This is not B-Ref.
All I know is he hits home runs every time he plays now.
All right. Actually, wait. I'm sorry. I'm jumping around here.
That's
Colson
okay.
Montgomery. Here we go. Coming to your city. Okay. Let's see. Last 5 games.
It looks like, I think right at the top. So he's played 40. No. How many games?
Yeah, usually it just says here we know 2005 WAR at bat. He's had 190 run. Yeah, usually. Well, for pitchers, I know splits.
I thought it would just say games played.
Splits 2015. There we go. 7 games started. So 55.
All right, so maybe that's
and he's got 18 home runs in 55 games. It's freaking
crazy,
insane.
Man.
47 RBIs in 55 games.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
let me see how many. Let's look this up right now.
No stolen bases though, so he doesn't have that sweet spot. What's really been disappointing is Ellie De La Cruz, man, because like a lot of people, stolen bases are like a frame of mind, and that's what
Right.
Josh Naylor is showing us too, man. Big boy can run the bases because Big boy wants to run the bases. And like Ellie, dude, you're like 3 times as fast as this guy. You got to want it, man.
Yeah.
So, and I guess, and I thought Tito and Ellie somehow would mesh more or something. I mean, he's got him close to the postseason, but it's just like, yeah, Ellie's just been so hard,
Is he allowed to hit
unfortunately.
home runs anymore, Ellie?
Well, yeah, and you're in the I think Great American is close to the best
Yeah.
ballpark for home runs dimension wise too. It's like I know the Rockies with the air and everything, but I think pound for pound,
Yeah. It's like the
yeah,
two
Cincy's
minor
right
league
there kind of
parks.
thing.
The two minor league parks, Colorado and Cincinnati. That's where you go to get bumps.
Yep. Well, and with the Athletics too, what I've heard is like the foul territory is a lot more narrow too.
Mhm.
So again, you foul one off, it's not going to get caught like it was in the Coliseum.
Right, which is
So
wide open.
Saris and DVR were talking about that as like, hey, you can have less like plate discipline or be kind of like a worse hitter, but it doesn't really show up in the stats because the park is kind of so beneficial for that. So that's pretty wild.
Yeah. All right, so who do we got in Sacramento? We've got the Cincinnati Reds. So speaking of Ellie,
Reds carpet.
yeah, that's
I don't know. That's Nick Polak. Or Polak. He does first pitch essentially, I think, or pitchers list, I believe. So
okay.
he's a fun guy, but he's got a bunch. I don't know. I listen to these podcasts and they have all these like weird, goofy names for people. So and Rocky Road, I guess, is Rockies on the road, because you get basically not great pitching typically, kind of thing. But
Right.
Austin Gomber, that's one of the guys first met in LG, and we liked for a little while, but he unfortunately has fallen off the wagon a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he had like it was just like a month of good pitching.
Yeah, he's
But
a
it's
relief pitcher. Oh man,
yeah,
that month though is sweet, baby. I'll never
yeah.
forget that.
So with the Reds, and I have been someone who is a sucker for playing the Athletics, even though they're kind of all over the place. But I just when they're at home, I feel like I'm
Yeah, Big Amish, Nick Kurtz, man, 30 home
yeah.
runs. Yeah, and
Soderbaum.
then Wilson's been a little disappointing. His plate, man, how he just kind
Yeah,
of moves all over the place too.
he's slowed down. He has slowed down. He was off to such a fun start. But I don't really like Singer, I'm not scared of, but between Green and Lodolo, who when Lodolo's healthy is pretty sharp as a lefty too. That makes me I'm not gonna go out of my way, but I can guarantee you this weekend the A's will be I will do an A's daily derby stack for sure.
Yeah, and if
That's
it's still hot too, that's going to be the other thing. Like you said, the temperatures are really going to make a difference. Like we
right.
saw in April as well. Hey, it's rainy. It starts and that's October baseball too is going to happen as well like that too.
Yeah, but do you want to scroll to? Well, we can actually see Cincinnati. So Cincinnati's throwing get out there Severino and Morales. I like. Are you going to go out of your way to play some Reds today? This weekend, you think?
Lefty possibly from the Reds. So something else I like to look at. Let's see. Do I have this here? I think I might. The roster resources. So that's the depth chart, which can be very, very handy. I'm gonna
Mhm.
close that so I don't get too much. But the other guy that I like is this. Fangraphs has this roster resource, and you can essentially see who's playing or not. So let's go to athletics, I guess. Right? Are we talking Cincy? So
Uh,
Brent Ricker, I
both of
guess
them.
overall kind of has been 17 overall, so it's kind of a little bit sneaky. Doesn't get a lot of times off. This is where you can see a lot of times between if somebody's lefty righty kind of
Mhm.
platoon as well will show up. And then the last 7 days is kind of nice to see who's streaking as well. So Tyler Soderstrom there just got a day off yesterday as well. Lawrence Butler, Law Dog, or I call him Law Butt, which is kind of disrespectful, but he's been a little bit disappointing.
Yeah,
He
he
was really
slowed
hot.
down after he had such a fun start, and he has slowed
Yeah.
down quite a bit.
And last year he was really hot too. Even JJ Bleday, I was like, oh man, this guy's
I,
going to come. He was really highly rated out of Atlanta as well. He's like a top draft pick and really has fallen off.
yeah,
Let's see
he has
Cincy
slowed
as
down.
well. This is where we can see, De La Cruz overall still at 26, but really not doing a lot for us of late.
Is it Friedel Deedle? We playing Friedel Deedle?
Friedel, well, he's at the top, and that's like one of the things too. You got to love guys that are at the top of the order. This is always a good way to check that as well, just because they've got another shot to get more hits essentially as well.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where more at bats, just more chances to score points at the plate. Ideally, you're just counting on that stud to keep hitting and not strike out essentially and go negative for you.
One of the things that
So
I do like about a situation like this, I just don't know how many people are like, oh, I got to play Austin Hayes this weekend for sure. And so I do think like being in a good hitting environment, not really against scary pitching, like it could be like a super under owned. And I know ownership doesn't come like being contrarian doesn't help so much, but in this format, but I do like I mean, you're saying they're in one of the better hitting environments of the weekend. I would not mind
yep.
firing up some Reds.
Yeah, and I believe Hayes is a lefty, I think. And so if he's going up, no, bats and rights throw. So he's a righty going up against righties too. That's where it's even with Schwarbombs essentially when he's going up against three righties. That's where you really lick your chops too.
Yeah.
That's where kind of like go above and beyond. But righty and righty. But yeah, he's been hot before. He helped compel me, I feel like, to pretty high places in the past with Mr. Hayes.
Yeah, him and Gavin Lux, I think is the lefty that'll probably get a little bit of love there.
Yeah, I thought he would have more of a resurgence too in Cincinnati because he came over from the Dodgers and really has been kind of a bit disappointing too. So let's see, where's Mr. Lux essentially in the 5-hole right now playing DH. So yeah, he's a lefty going against righties kind of thing. So
yeah. All right, let's scroll down. Let's get through a couple more of these matchups. So we got the Diamondbacks and the Twinkies, who they're at Minnesota, Lopez, Ryan, and Ober. And then what do we got? You want to scroll to Minnesota, just see who we got thrown there? What do we got?
Fott, Mr. Nelson, and Krismat.
There we go.
I've never heard of Krismat before.
Is this
righty?
Yeah, so we can.
So shout out Royce Lewis, man, 2 double dongs in the Angels Stadium. Essentially, I guess he went to high school somewhere nearby, so it's like, I should have known that. But I don't slump kind of thing.
He's been red hot.
So and then Big Buxton too, kind of thing. Big Bucks.
Yeah, Buxton's woken up too. Yeah, he's been solid.
And then again, talking about missing a card with Mr. Luke Keeschel too. It's like, come on, so rare. It's like the 20th ranked player over the last 7 days. So
I know.
Just where it'd be nice. And it feels like Buxton's been better than 56 overall. He's just been really hot. So it's great to see him stay healthy too. That's one of the nice things as well.
But 3 righties, that's good news for the Wallner and Larnar crew.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Twins would be playable. And then man, the Diamondbacks just feel like they're hot. Who do they have any lefties throwing for
D-backs?
For the D-backs, I don't think so, right?
Righty. Yeah, Pablo, Life of Pablo, Joe Ryan, and Bailey Ober. Those are solid arms too. So that's where it's like, okay, I know Corbin Carroll and Perdomo's been absolutely in fuego.
Yeah.
But and I guess it's a little bit of a hitter's park in Minnesota too. But I mean, yeah, good pitchers at their home parks. Typically, pitchers pitch better at their home parks. They know what the mound feels like.
Mm-hmm.
They're just kind of like everything's more the same versus, hey, I'm going to do it in a different time zone or totally different environment. So that's those pitchers at home too can be a little bit stingier.
We got Braves. I mean, I don't even want to talk about the Braves. They are not fun right now. And
I guess too, that kind of brings up on the comment that I had about the playoffs that I forgot about was like with Matt Olson and other, like even Acuna, it's like, okay, if you're not going to play him in the playoffs, do you need to really hold on to that even common card at this point, or do you scrap it and then get the common essence back? You've got a little bit that you can play with during the postseason as well. I think we'll only have 2 common teams, like a lineup for like regular tourney and then a daily one is the way I understand it.
I think that's right. But they've been so bad. I mean, Acuna's like hitting 7th now in the lineup. They've like yanked him around. And they got, like, I know it looks good here, but they actually have like not fun pitchers there in Houston with Brown Valdez. Although Valdez has been kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
But let's instead of going through all of them here, let's why don't we just kind of circle a couple that we are excited
Guardians, basically. You're going against really low ranked or basically starting pitchers, Perez, Martin, Gomez kind of there. That kind of looks a little bit juicier. Yeah, the Reds, you're kind of going against the ones that aren't necessarily the highest.
The Guardians, we got lefty and 2 righties, is that right?
Lefty and 2 righties. Yeah, Perez is a lefty, Martin is a righty, and Gomez is a righty.
And J-Ram has felt pretty consistent too. He's been, I just love a guy that can hit a home run but can also steal a base.
He's a 6 overall, and then 3rd in the last 7 days. So and then with Quan up there too, and then Manzardo going off behind him too. That's kind of cool to see. I've seen some fantasy guys compare Manzardo to like a dark horse Spencer Torkelson, who really had a
Okay.
hot spring, but it's kind of cooled off a little bit. But it's like you can kind of get more or less torque, but a little bit more value kind of with it. So
Yeah. Solar Edge called up the Padres. Yeah, I hope that's the case. And I hope it starts tonight because I'm desperate for Manny Machado to do literally anything but strike out. But yeah, anytime the Colorado's pitching, whether at home or on the road, you can stack up against them. I think they've been pretty bad. So yeah, I'm down with the dads. Who is the team that I was excited about that I'm now blanking on? Who are the Nationals playing this weekend? They got Pittsburgh.
Pitt, yeah, and no schemes as well. So that's where it's like, okay, Bell, could you keep just ripping it off kind of thing? They're at home against Pittsburgh too, so they're not on the road.
I kind of like some Pirates here. The Washington just gets lit up, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
Alvarez, Cavalli, and Mitch Parker.
yeah,
There's pitching for so Cavalli he's barely a top 100 pitcher. So
yeah.
lefty, righty, lefty.
I feel like some Brian Reynolds action this weekend.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's been disappointing. Usually he's just like oatmeal,
yeah,
20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, but just the Pirates have just been so disappointing this season too. So it's
they
like,
have
how
been.
can you really blame O'Neal Cruz? So
I know.
it's like, but
I
yeah, that's
know.
where even where So Rare Edge with Pascal saying, yeah, the Padres essentially with Gordon, Dollander, and
Uh-oh. Did we lose jump shoot? I think so. Either that or my internet's down, but I think it's jump shoot. I think did we might have had Taylor call in something here because we started talking about the Rockies and he was like not on my watch. Although he's been pretty sad about his Rockies too. But can somebody in the chat there confirm that it is me? It's got to be. Yeah. All right, he's gone. All right, so I'm still here. It seems although but the stream's live, right? Yeah, we're still live. Okay. All right, let's I'll wait till he figures it out. Here, why don't I take control? We don't have to share screen. It's weird still seeing him here. And then hold on, let's see this. There we go. All right, now yeah, we got mobile
I'm
jump shoot.
sorry. I'm
That's
sorry. I
okay.
got a weird phone call. So for some reason, yeah, I am on my phone because that's my best camera. So sorry, guys.
No, you're totally fine. You want me to bring your screen back up? Is that cool?
If you would like to.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you got cut off while we were talking about the Rockies pitching.
Well, yeah, I just wonder if their pitchers they're lower ranked because they're at home, so they've got less of an advantage. So now that they're on the road, you kind of get a little bit more road home split kind of thing as well. So it's like, okay, on the road, do they have the potential to be a little bit better than? So
No.
I get like, is their ranking a little suppressed kind of thing? Again, they're bad pitching, and I guess with Pascal being like, no, they're just terrible, 30% worse than league average. So
Yeah.
it's hard to argue that.
The Rays in Chicago, the Cubs are like a little bit interesting. I think like the Cubs are always so weather dependent, although no Kyle Tucker, right? I think we still have Kyle Tucker. They put on like
He's
10
still on
day.
the injured list. Yep. And then I mean the Rays going against Shota Namaga and Michael Boyd too. He's been a really good surprise this year. So it's like it's pretty hard matchup for them. But with the Cubs,
I'm
Baz, Drew Rasmussen, and Hauser.
Ready for a little Boyd take? I think Boyd has got a little Robbie Ray in him where he might get 9 Ks, but he also might walk 9 in the first 4 innings and they're down 6, which I think is great for fantasy sports. I either want everything or nothing. So but yeah, I'm a
Right, it's got like a Blake Snell too kind of thing where you walk a lot of people and deal with base runners all the time, but somehow kind of like work around it, or I want somebody on first because then I'll get a ground ball and get a double play.
Blake Snell will get 10 Ks through 5 innings on 125 pitches.
It's true. And that's really where the bullpen's with the Dodgers too. It's like they built that up. I think the Padres have another one that's pretty elite. The Yankees, even though Devin Williams, after coming over from the Brewers, has really fell apart. And then, nice. Mike Weisberg. How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
We got
Weisberg as well. He's from Sorare Edge. Nice to see you guys here as well. So thank you for joining. Hanky Eagle fan too. He's a real one.
All right, so what I'm going to do now, let's remind people of the giveaway here, and then I'll build out my lineup. Again, I won't keep this as my lineup, but we'll do a little run through. But yeah, we're giving away a Spencer Steer card. Little Spencer Steer for the Cincinnati Reds. Shout out to our guy Dean, who made that magic happen. And then, yeah, we'll go over to my Sorare. Let's see if I'm still. I would like to win some cash this week. That would be cool. I would like some cash.
Oh, I missed the bragging rights. I got like a G essentially in my account. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that too loudly.
Oh,
It's like a $10 withdrawal fee essentially. So it's like, oh man, like
no, you
you
gotta
don't
wait.
want to just win like 20 or $30 and then, so it's
Don't
like...
tell Dean that though. Dean might try to send you something for a little scam action. Yeah, no, I don't have any cash in there. I think
So
well, no,
the
that's
other
not...
thing too. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The one thing too, if you're about to win something and it's like, I don't know, more like $5, $10, $20 range, and you're like, hey, I want to have a little bit of fun money that I'm going to spend or whatnot. Sometimes I'll click over from getting cash to ETH essentially,
Yeah.
and then have a little bit in that bank account. So for the big ones, like to have the dollars because it seems like it goes easier over the bank account if I want to go that way. But having a little bit of ETH in the account, if you just have $5 or $10 that you won, if you go into your settings, you can say, hey, please pay me in ETH if it's like still the day of and you haven't received it yet. And make sure you click save on it because I've done it where I've done that and I click save. I'm like, oh, no, it's still in ETH.
Brutal.
So whatever.
All right, let's pull. Am I still? Let's share this. Oh, oops. All right, let's pull this up. Let's do a quick refresh. I just want to see where I'm at here for this game week. All right, so we're still in 67th. We're now projected to 27th. So again, just look, a Munoz save, and then the Padres scoring some runs. Right? Is that too much to ask?
Nice, we can do that.
I think we can do that. The last time I got myself excited about, we was like, oh, I think we have a sweat. Kyle Schwarber hit 45 home runs in like 6 hours. And so I'm glad that propelled you to, I thought I had a top 10 finish. And then all of a sudden it's like 125th. Yeah. All right. So let's go into this game week, and I will start with, actually, let me look at the daily. I forget what I threw.
Yeah, it's always fun to look at dailies.
I only had one daily. I didn't have a lot of starting pitching today. Yeah, so we threw out Soriano, Cade Smith, Jordan, who's already been bad, Jazz, Mike Trout, Cody Belly, and Xavier Edwards. Didn't have a lot of great options today, but that's because I'm using them right now in the bi-weekly, so that's why.
And something I've considered doing is with the daily derby, if you've got like one of those starting pitchers in the relief pitcher spot, is like don't play the derby, but then go to the arena.
The swing.
And
the
play
arena,
that a little bit. Yeah, just go to the arena and then try and like, you're only in a group of 10 people. You've got to be in the top 4 essentially to kind of get your money back or your essence back or get a little bit more. That's been kind of fun as well to do with things. And I guess the other thing, it's like if you're being super nerdy or you're building for the long term and you've got the time, I do recommend like filling out all the lineups you kind of can fill out that are in the bi-weekly, even if they don't really have a shot, because, and especially with your stars, because it like slowly builds the XP up on them kind of thing. So it's like, I was kind of doing that in NBA with a little bit where it's like, okay, I know Wemby's hurt, but I don't care. Throw him in with somebody and just kind of try and get
just build
XP up a little bit more for next year kind of thing.
I think that's really smart. All right, so let's start with the pitcher. Crochet's always my go-to now that Wheeler's been killed. We have Scooble's back on the, yeah, so we get Scooble against Miami at Miami. The Crochet.
I think he's the top ranked one in Edge. Yeah.
Scooble or Crochet?
The Scoops.
Yeah, about like a weaker matchup against Miami. I do kind of like going against the Yanks because I feel like they strike out a lot. But let's do Scoobs for this one.
The Yanks suck if they don't know what's coming. If they don't have a guy on like second base being like, this is what to say. It's like, come on, you losers. But again, it's like you have the pitch comm. I mean, stealing signs is kind of part of the game. So yeah, I threw on the Twins hat for Mr. Borland here. But Mike said in the chat, kind of wanted us to go back to Essence real quick. And I think, Mike, it's like everybody has do what's best for your gallery. But based on what John said last week, our in-season cards are more like entry tickets for these tournaments. So the playoffs, you're going to have 6 tournaments. It's kind of like highly centralized and compact. And so if you want to go for that as well, like you're welcome to do that and try for it. You're only going to have a shot with Essence of crafting. There's 12 of the 30 teams make the playoffs. So you have a less than half chance of getting a playoff edition card kind of from that context. And then also with crafting, there's odds or it's like a T3 or below on average too. So if you do kind of get the lucky side of special edition playoff card, it's kind of going to be a little bit lower. And that's where Mike and I kind of are more like, hey, we'd like to save it for next season. And then you get a new card that's good for like 52 or something like that, 162 games kind of thing
Yeah, I
to
think
play
we
with.
did.
So,
I think we talked about it for like maybe 10 minutes, a little bit earlier, Mike. So after
yep.
we're done here, just scrub back. It's probably right around the hour mark. I think it was right before we went to the game breakdown. But yeah, it was a
All
good
right.
combo.
See you, Nate. See you, Pascal.
All right. So we got Scoobs in here. We've got Munoz. So I'm always hesitant, and I guess it would depend on if Munoz pitches tonight. But if he pitches tonight, I don't think I want to play Munoz this weekend.
He's had such a long break, but yeah, I mean the odds of him, he could go 2 in a row, likely not to go 3 in a row, I think. So that's where, yeah, I think Diaz, and
But
that's
if he
where if
does,
he doesn't pitch tonight, then you're
then-
like on this long break, he might just get a maintenance outing in a non-hold situation too.
yeah. So I wouldn't mind him. But here's some options. We got Chapman, who pitched yesterday, but now has the day off. We got Cade Smith. We got Johan Duran. Who else do we have? We got Piente starting. We got Mason Miller against the Rocks. Jansen against the Mariners. We got Uribe against the Cards. Abreu against the Braves. And then Hoffman against the Orioles.
I feel like the Cleveland had a decent matchup, and it seems like Cade's
the new guy.
He's pitched, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the last 5 or 6 days, but he didn't pitch yesterday, kind of thing. He didn't pitch Wednesday.
And has today off, correct? So, or no?
I think that's right.
Do the
I
Guardians?
don't think
play?
Cleveland plays. Let's see here.
They
do.
They
Yeah,
play the
Kolek.
Royals.
They play Kansas City.
All right, but if we assume he doesn't play, if he doesn't pitch tonight, we'll throw him in there for now because I agree with you that White Sox matchup is great.
Although they have been a little hot too, though. That's kind of crazy that like all of a sudden they just start winning and then fives are good and let's go. But Lubob's out, so I mean the best player's not playing.
They're going Chicago.
But Miguel
Bulls.
Vargas came back. He was kind of like a sneaky dark horse because he came over from the Dodgers, highly ranked, but really hasn't panned out too much.
So we've got, let's see, for our corner infielder, some guys that are sticking out. Jordan, we got Judge. I mean, Judge and Fenway is kind of fun. I think Machado's the one that has the highest projection along with Judge. Again, it is Manny, but it is the Rockies. Those are probably our best plays in that range. So we got Manny.
Judge, I think, is your most chalk one.
Yeah. The Mariners too. Raleigh's in there as well, but
well, Cal, you could keep for middle infielder. Typically, like it was cool. First minute they did a deep dive and. Like, I think it's kind of well known by the community, but it'd be interesting to see if this year it's true. But the middle infielder spot is typically the lowest scoring points of all the hitters, kind of thing.
Is First Mint doing so rare MLB content? Or you mean in the Discord?
No, just the Discord.
Okay.
I've got a DJFF or DJF as well, like a member in there, and I kind of go back and forth. And Crypto Poppy still plays too, which is kind of interesting. So it's just like, Poppy. Oh, and so the Pseudo Sisters too. One of Jen's big thing was the power of doing things like compounding good things over and over again. So that's something that I don't know.
There we go.
Positive.
Good.
So I don't
positive
know, just
vibes.
like the little things. Yes.
Love it. All right. So for the middle infielder, we mentioned Raleigh. We also got Mookie Betts, but Mookie in San Francisco, decent pitching.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I think we just throw Raleigh in there and move to the next one. He's like
Perdomo too is projecting pretty well for middle infielder. Yeah, Mookie would probably be your next best play, I think. Bobby Wift's back again, but I think Cal.
So for outfield here, I like Bucks. We like our guy Big Bucks. Jordan clearly still projects well, but I do think Tatis is going to be the guy.
They're all really bunched really closely together. They're all like the 35. This has Jordan by like fraction, then Tatis, then Byron Buxton at the
the good news is I think we can just play them all.
Nice. There you go.
I think we can
plug and play, baby.
Play them all. And I think that is going to be our main squad there. So that'll be Scoobs, Cade Smith, Judge, Cal, Tatis, Jordan, and Big Bucks. That's going to be it for now anyways. And then I'm sure.
Yeah, I just watched that, relief pitcher and then just, make sure nobody gets hurt or gets a weird day off. And that's something with playoffs coming too.
Mm-hmm.
If you get teams that lock, they might start, okay, we want you to be fresh, but hey, do some maintenance stuff like this. Maybe you'll start the game, but only get a bat or two as well. So that's where, it's going to be kind of interesting. It becomes a little bit different of a beast.
Definitely. Jump shoot. Anything else going on? I think we're gonna wrap here in a minute or so. But anything else you need to get to the people? I appreciate you spending some time with us today and giving us that jump shoot alpha, because time and time again, whether it is game weeks or dailies, I feel like you're sitting on some podiums.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
it's fun to be with the community. Just have fun, guys. Remember, this is supposed to be a fun game. It's kind of nice with, today being 9/11 and all the tragedy issue, political unrest we had last week is like, just focus on baseball. Let's enjoy something fun. This should be something that we can kind of come together and have fun with. And yeah, appreciate Sorare giving us this platform as well to talk about.
Yeah, man. I do. I think this has been. Again. I'm not doing too many deep dives into the Discord regularly, unlike the generals. I have seen maybe like the least amount of pushback in like through a full season in a while. Like it feels like. I mean, of course, there's definitely been some hiccups and some stuff that has been frustrating for people. I'm not trying to belittle that. I just mean in general, it feels like it's been some pretty good vibes in the So Rare streets this summer, which has been good to see. But yeah, appreciate So Rare for giving us this. And again, we're doing this show, the Short Porch, every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. My favorite thing about this is that they do a ton of content on this channel, and it's a bunch of planning in a bunch of different languages. And I'm the only asshole using Eastern Standard Time. Everybody else is CET, and I'm constantly doing conversion rates to figure out what time. I feel like I'm getting CTE by trying to figure out like what
Just use
time
Google,
things
man.
are.
Throw it in Google.
I know, but
It'll tell you.
it feels so dumb. But anyways, I appreciate them
Well, and
giving
something
us.
else too. So for
Yeah.
NBA, get ready for that. Are you like? I mean, I guess you probably have enough cards, but like, I don't. I scooped the Dyson Daniels because I'm like, there's probably going to be a steals mission somewhere along the way,
Yeah.
or maybe lock him up, and that way I've got one I can play, kind of thing. But then again, we've kind of seen the over minting in this, so it's like I hate to go too hog wild right at the beginning. But some of these guys that are so down in price and just like stat stuffer kind of things.
I think one of the things we saw last year, they did a better job. I think, and I'm just speaking off the top of my head, but they did a better job of like their mint pace last year. And I think what we actually saw were prices weren't as crazy at the beginning of the season, and that actually a month in, they started to creep up a little bit more. And then, of course, once we got into the season, they start to come down a little bit. I am trying to study what they're doing on the football side of things, because I do think we are going to see. I think it might, and again, I don't have any inside info, but it might align.
We're getting the wheel, people. Come on, NBA wheel. Let's go.
Yeah, bring the wheel back, bring streaks over. But I wanna get a feel for what they're doing over on the football side, because I have a feeling it'll look I don't know, maybe versions of it will be similar. So but I am excited to it. Yeah, I am excited about it. Shout out our guy Dean one more time. We're gonna give away a Spencer Steer here. We'll spin this right now. And then if you win, just put your username in the chat, or you can, if you're seeing this after the fact, because DM me in the Discord or at Mike Sakarian on Twitter. It looks like it's going to Gaming Revenant 08. Let's go.
Nice job. Congratulations.
Yeah. So Gaming Revenant, if you're still here, let's see. It looks like you might have put that in the chat a while ago. So I'm not sure if you're still here, but if you're still here, put it in the chat. Otherwise, find me. Jumpshoot, where can people find you on X at Jumpshoot? Find you in the Discord at Jumpshoot.
NFT at Twitter, I guess, whatnot. Or Discord is Jumpshoot as well. I'm an MLB general. So just have fun. I think it's just one of these things where try and take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones.
Yeah.
You just never know what's around the corner, kind of thing. And this is a fun game. Let's have fun as well with it. And I guess the pseudo thing, I guess too, it's just like if you can do one positive thing or one little thing and then make it a repeatable habit kind of thing. So like, I don't know, mine was like start to eat oatmeal in the morning kind of thing. And have cereal or fruit with it kind of thing. But as you get older, things don't work quite as easy as they did when you were young. And so it's like, if you take care of yourself now, it pays dividends. I think better quality of life too. So it's have fun.
Yeah, I now have to do 30 minutes of back stretching and 30 minutes of yoga every single day now, just so my back works. And now I meal plan. And so I don't know. It will make my life longer, and later it'll be better. Right now, I hate it. I hate it right now.
You're not in the routine yet?
No, we're still pretty early. We're 2 weeks in. I mean, I'm in the routine of doing it, but my body's still like, wow, I hate this,
Yeah, if you're always hungry all the time, or like I went to a Greek yogurt with no sugar and it's like tastes horrible, but then after a few weeks your like palate changes and
Yeah,
then
you
it's
get
like
used to it.
a lot better. Yeah.
We're gonna have our own new So Rare show that's just like old people talking about trying to still be young. Jump Shoot, man, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate everybody, especially our guy Dean Iverson, who's giving away that Spencer
Yeah, thank you,
Steer.
Dean.
Yeah, Gaming Revenant. Make sure you hit me up to Borland, Weisberg, Taylor. We got Miguel in there. So Rare
You can't
Ed,
escape
Blue
him.
Bolt, Cedric Mullins. Huh? We got a Mullins.
So this
jersey.
was it. So the other thing too, it's like if you guys like, okay, O's are out of it kind of thing. This was like $53 shipped. I think I had like $5 in fan cash at
Yeah.
Fanatics. So
There
it's
you
like
go.
some of these, yeah, he's a Met now, but you can't escape him. I liked having him, so I took it to the game.
Yeah,
To
he's a
kind
fun
of
stolen base
celebrate.
guy.
So
He felt like he always beat up the Sox. He would always hit like a ball down the line that would turn into a triple. But
dude, some of his catches too in center
yeah.
field are just immaculate.
He was nasty, nasty. All right, Jump Shoot. Thanks for hanging. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. We will be back again on Thursday.